Well, Lewis.
Yes, sir. Is it live already?
We're live on the podcast.
We're live.
So this is the Solar Panel Cleaning Podcast, and we are over at Lewis's studio. So I hooked up the best that I can. So I'm hoping everything goes good, but please let me know if you have any kind of issues whatsoever, if you can't hear us or anything like that. What I am going to do is try to get Steve on us as well and get him in here. Let me clip in a little bit. Just give me 1 second, everybody.
You want to sit over here next to me? There you go. Yeah, you're
Okay.
Or maybe if you.
the logo.
Yeah.
That's fine. That should be fine.
Yeah, like.
Okay, so we got quite a few people with us hanging out, Lewis, which is kind of cool.
Yes.
People that you might recognize from when we went live at the Intersolar North America Convention, which was pretty cool. To the left of me, we got Carla Dawson. And I apologize, I have forgotten your name.
No problem. I'm Stefan.
Stefan. And before I even go to Stefan, Carla is from the High Cleaner. I froze and blinked right there for a second. She's, representing the High Cleaner robot, and then Stefan and Romaine.
Exactly.
Okay, so I always feel like I'm pronouncing it the wrong way. So okay.
You got it.
Romaine and Stefan from Solar Cleano, and we're going to be talking about the solar panel cleaning robots. And Lewis has actually prepared some questions, which is going to be a lot of fun. And then if we can, we're going to get Steve Williams on here as well. I know that he's standing by watching, so that's going to be kind of fun. So let me go ahead and, I don't know, should we let everybody everybody already knows you guys, so I don't know if we want to introduce you again and say the same thing that people already know, right?
Maybe for the new viewers.
The new viewers?
Doesn't hurt to introduce everyone.
Okay, well then, okay, that does sound like a great idea. What we'll do first is we'll allow everybody to go ahead and talk about first caller if you want to talk about the High Cleaner. And then if you guys want to talk about the Solar Cleaner robot, that'd be kind of cool. So let's start with Carla.
Okay, thanks, Chris. So basically I represent High Cleaner here in the United States, and High Cleaner is an industrial cleaning machining company. And our solar robot is something that we're excited about. Basically, it's a commercial, industrial, and utility scale cleaning machine, solar cleaning machine.
All right. Me and Romain and me, we both represent Solar Cleano. We're based in Luxembourg, Europe. We manufacture cleaning solutions for the solar panel cleaning market. So it starts with small machines to really big machines, utility scale, what have you. We're super excited to be here today and to have this podcast together. And I'm sure we're going to have a really good time.
Awesome.
Yeah, so true. It was exactly what I wanted to say.
Awesome. So in this podcast, we're going to be, asking some questions, and, we're going to be asking simultaneously if, everybody can answer them. Does that work out?
I think we'll take time with it. I'm still trying to get myself together. I actually drove down here, parked what seemed about 2 miles down the road from the office. I'm still sweating from walking with the boss, and barely just got this set up. So I'm doing the best I can, but that's why my goatee is all over the place. This is a main thing. This is a look, so the look has to be perfect. All right. Well, I think that would be the best thing. Lewis, you have the questions. If you want to ask the questions.
Sounds good. Well, ask the questions. We'll get started. All right. First of all, let's ask Roman or Romain?
Romaine.
You say it the way you want. I mean, in the French way, you would say Romain, but
Roman.
you can pronounce it Romain.
Okay. Romain, how does the automation impact the solar panel cleaning business?
How is the automation?
Yes.
I mean, when you see 5 years ago where we come from, I mean, we were not talking so much about these robotic systems. Even more, if you go 10 years ago, we were not talking so much about solar panel cleaning. And if you really want to see the future of cleaning, you have to take into account these new robotics like High Cleaner, Solar Cleano, in a way that is going to have a huge impact on the business, not only on the, I would say, the speed of cleaning, but also in the safety of the cleaners, the efficiency of the cleaning, the quality of the cleaning. And that's a key value. That's also why we are here today to discuss about all these three topics. But if you see that more and more cleaners are taking these steps in going in robotics cleaning, there is a reason why.
There is. Now for Stefan, how are solar panel cleaning robots impacting the solar panel cleaning business?
Well, I mean, Roman already mentioned it. This one thing is efficiency. We can clean more panels at a faster speed. So we need less labor. We need just less people and more robots will do the job. And what's happening worldwide. The deployment of more and more and more panels everywhere. So in a way, there's no way around it. But I think the main thing here is that we become more autonomous and we use less labor. Really, intensive. Becomes less labor intensive.
Now, how will this affect for companies that do have employees now that companies get robots? How will this affect their?
Let me just come back to this point. What is important? So it's also the sort of, I mean, when we talk about, in French we say digitalization, the fact that you are moving in robotics and so on. It's important that when you move to robotics, you don't only delete jobs, you also create some. It's important that when you go in robotics, you're gonna clean more, so you will need more robots. You will need more people in this because you will need these people to manage the robots. So you're not going to delete this job directly. In fact, you're going to create different one, but specialized one. You will have specific jobs because robotics cleaner is a new job. You will not. Nobody was talking about that like a few years ago.
Correct.
So you're going to create also a new job.
That is true. Completely agree. Carla, how can solar panel cleaning robots improve the solar panel cleaning business and market?
That's a great question. So I think basically as the price goes down for cleaning, companies are going to choose to clean more often, which extends the asset life on the solar panels, which is a fantastic thing from many points of view. And it also improves the performance levels. So I think what we're going to see here is that the overall experience with consuming solar energy is going to improve as more technology is involved. So now there's so many other things you can also do to improve your asset life because the cost of solar panel cleaning goes down. So you do more of it, you do it better, and it starts to grow. There's so many other complementary things to do to get that asset life extended.
Completely agree with that. Completely agree. Now, let's see. Let's go to another question.
Before we go to one more question, let me just go ahead and see if I can make this happen right now, if that's okay. Because
Is he joining already?
let me see if I can get
There you go.
Hey.
Mr. Steve.
Hi, everyone.
We'll change up. Let me see if I can change this up a little bit because now it's going to change. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now we can see everybody. Mr. Steve Williams, how are you doing, sir?
Very well, thank you. I'm staying up burning the midnight oil.
We
It
can't
is
hear you.
about
Hold on, we can't hear you,
10,
Steve. We want
10
to.
past 11 p.m. here.
There we go.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Awesome.
We just got to make sure. Yeah, we can hear you.
now.
Is there an echo on us now when we talk? Is anybody getting an echo at all?
No, there's no echo, but your broadcast is quite blocky. It's quite pixelated and a little bit. The audio is not brilliant either, but it's fine. It's okay.
It's the Wi-Fi.
I think the camera picks up maybe because the pixels itself.
No, I think it's the bandwidth.
Do you want to do it to
It
the
could
phone?
be. I do. Don't worry about it. We're gonna go ahead and fix that. I'm gonna be fixing that. Lewis, why don't you just go ahead and keep asking some questions? We don't have a guy that's taking care of the production. Obviously, the production value of this podcast is just through the roof. But I'm going ahead and taking care of that. So I'm going to switch things up and try to get us to a new camera. So go ahead and make that happen.
Alrighty. Steven, how are you? What time is it over there?
It's coming up to, well, it's 10 past 11 p.m. So I'm staying up very late past my bedtime here.
Oh man, well, glad that you're at least here. Steven, can I ask you a question? Since we're asking questions here in the podcast, your opinion, Steve, with what's it called, solar panel cleaning robots. What are the features to consider? I'm sorry. What is the evolution of solar panel cleaning robots in the industry?
The evolution?
Yes, like the evolution from going from manual to rotating to robots.
Sure. Okay. So we started manually cleaning the solar panels in late 2011. There were no solar panel cleaning robots around at that time. I pursued quite strongly an Italian company that was making a robot which was good, but not perfect. And I wasn't expecting a perfect robot, but I was needing it to be of a certain speed and provide a high quality clean. And it did the high quality clean, but it just wasn't quick enough. So for me, it was a considerable amount of money, and I needed the technology to catch me up. So I had my standard and the technology was here, and I needed it to catch up. So we stuck with manual cleaning. We grew numerous teams. We had, I think, 8 vans on the road with 16 guys on tools, 7 in the back office. Since we had the robots, we've been able to shrink the manual labor element of the team. So instead of taking on more men, you take on more robots. That's the principle of it, because I think that the robot technology is close to where it needs to be now in order to be kind of a mass-produced product. So it's coming on quite nicely. Yeah, I think there's still progress to be made, but I think it's coming along quite well.
Awesome.
Okay, so the problem is if I go ahead and try to switch this, I can see how it's a little spotty, which that's awesome. If I go ahead and try to switch with this, it's just going to have an audio issue like crazy, and we'll just have like echoes like left and right. So unless all of us have headphones and plugged in, then that makes it a little bit of an issue. So we're just going to try to go ahead and make this the best of what it is. So there might be a little bit of a lag, but I'm watching it. It's not too bad. All right. Well, Steve, it's really nice to finally have you on the show and to finally get to talk to you. I know a lot of individuals think that we're probably going to get on the show and just start arguing with each other. But I'm very glad to talk with you, man. You're really killing it out in the field, and you're doing a good job with the Solar Cleano as well, the robot, which is awesome because that's what we're talking about today. So I'm glad you were able to be on the podcast with us today. Thanks for having me, Chris. For sure, definitely. So, Steve, if you could, can you tell us a little bit about why you're cleaning solar panels? Why'd you get into solar panels? Because we all kind of know a little bit about you, just a little bit, but not enough. Why are we cleaning solar panels? Why are you cleaning solar panels? So my background's quite interesting. I won't take you all the way back into my history, maybe another day, but it is quite an interesting sort of background. But basically, the day after I left school, I set up a window cleaning company. I ran that for about, I suppose, 18 years. Expanded it into a property cleaning company, so bolted on additional services such as gutter cleaning and pressure washing. And we also have big problems here in the UK with block paved driveways that grow weeds all over the place. And so we seal block paved drives to protect them from weed growth. And then that took me into tarmac sealing as well. So I've always tried to be looking for the next service. I suppose by nature, I'm entrepreneurial. Back in 1998, I had this thing called a website, which no one was really doing back then for business, or not to the extent that they do now. So I've always been forward thinking. How I got into solar panel cleaning is quite accidental, really. I had one of my window cleaning customers say to me, we've got these solar panels on our garage roof, just a single story building. They said, can you clean them for us? Because they're getting a bit dusty. So I knew nothing about solar panels at the time. I knew something, though. I knew that spraying water onto an electricity creating device with a carbon pole in my hands could potentially do magical things to me. So I said no to that. Yeah, so I said no to them. And 2 months later, I went back to clean the windows again. And they said to me, we can't find anyone to clean our solar panels. Can you do them? And again, I said no. And then 2 months later, so this was a 6-month period, and in 6 months they'd been trying to find someone, and they said, we can't find anybody in the UK to clean solar panels. And I was like, well, you have to be typing the wrong thing into Google. So this was about 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I generally finish work around 4, but I finished early that day, determined to find this couple a solar panel cleaning company. And I sat on the internet for a few hours and typed in various things into Google, and I just couldn't find a company.
that was based in the UK offering that as a service. So I didn't sleep much that night, kind of kept me awake. And then the next day, instead of going out to work all day, I literally sat on the internet, typing search terms into Google, trying to find any information that was UK based or a UK company that was offering it as a service. And there was not one. So after like 12 or 13 hours of internet searching, I decided there was probably something to do there. So I just set off on a self-educating journey, trying to figure out what a solar panel was, what it did, how did it work, was there a risk of me getting electrocuted during this solar panel cleaning process? And I found that there were multiple ways to get electrocuted. So then I had to figure out how to protect myself from electrocution while I was cleaning. And so that was sort of the process. And then because there was no information on Google, I wrote a page about solar panel cleaning in the UK on my little 6-page window cleaning website. Google ranked it high straight away, page 1, rank 1 of Google, because there was no competition for a search term in the UK like it. So within 4 months, British Gas came knocking. They are they're probably the biggest electrical utility company in the UK. And they said, we have a national contract that we're looking to regionalize, and they were looking to split it into 7 regions across the UK. And they said, are you interested in the Midlands? Because I was located very centrally in the UK. So they said, are you interested in that particular part of the UK? And we'll split it out amongst other contractors. So do you want to come and have a chat with us? So I said, yeah. So I went down to their head office, put on a suit and shined some shoes. I had never, ever, ever been in a corporate boardroom. So I was just one man on my own, just sort of window cleaning, and doing some pressure washing. And so I went into this environment. So I went into that environment not knowing sort of what to expect. Cut a long story short, they said to me, what do you want from us? So I said to them, well, I remember thinking to myself, you're only here once, you're only here once. So I said to them, I want the national contract, the whole thing, or I'm going to walk away now. If you're just going to give me the Midlands, I'm not interested. So they looked at each other and smiled and said, well, we hoped you were going to say that because we can't find anyone else with your expertise in the country. So I came away one man in a van with a national contract from the UK's biggest energy company with no way of fulfilling it. I had to figure out how to cover all of the UK in less than a 3-month period. So from that sort of Clean Solar Solutions was born. The risk of fulfilling that contract could have taken my other company under. So I ring-fenced the risk by setting up a separate company. And I suppose the rest, they say, is history. We've gone on from strength to strength ever since.
Well, and I think that one of the things that might have been the best idea for you and all that was getting the solar panel cleaning robot, which is made you one of the most popular guys in the group. People love you, which is awesome. How has it changed getting that robot and getting that solar cleaner robot? Has it made it easier? I mean, the obvious answer is yes, but why?
It's made it easier in some respects, and it's made it more challenging in other respects. It's not the golden ticket to making a lot of money. But I can tell you what it does do. The solar cleaner robot does, we estimate, according to what we've done, and we've had our one robot 3 years, and we've had the smaller robot for about 12 months. The F1, in my opinion, does the same amount of work as 4 to 5 guys do manually in a day. So you are doing as much work on the correct site as 4 men. We find that the robot needs 2 men to operate it because of the weight issue. Something that I think will progress as the technology progresses is these robots will hopefully become lighter in the body and heavier in the brushes, because you still need the pressure to keep them on the panels. So that's a productivity thing. It's really good to be able to go out and clean between 2,000, 2,500 panels a day. And so as a business model, we've not changed our pricing. We've kept the pricing the same. So we clean 4 times as many panels as we did for 4 times as much money. I've not reduced my price at all. So we're robotically cleaning for a manual cleaning price.
Nice, nice. Well, what we're doing is Lewis has got some questions about about these solar panel cleaning robots. So I'm going to let you join in, and we have how many questions left, Lewis? Probably about 2 or 3, I would assume.
I think one.
One. Okay. So Lewis is going to ask that one. Good job. And we're going to go around and see what your answers on this. And then after that, what we're going to do after this next question is one thing that we've had through this podcast is some giveaways. We've always had something kind of really nice, but this year it has changed. Now, for every first podcast of the month, we have a WCR giveaway. For every third podcast of the month, we have a Tucker giveaway. And today we're giving away a full 26-foot, I think it's a 26-foot Tucker water-fed pole, which is a really, really nice pole. Of course, we'll send you out some stickers and some swag as well. But to do this, we have a little bit of a question. So we got a little bit of a game. I think it's going to be kind of fun. And by the way, Ryan Fuster, you did make a comment about your thing. You've got to go ahead and send me an email at solarpanelcleaningfriends@gmail.com so I can send you out your XL Tucker Alpha Scrubber from that was about 2 weeks ago. So I need to get that information from you. So send me an email. But before we do that, go ahead, Lewis. Ask your last question that you put together.
What are some features for all three of you? What are some features that someone needs to consider when purchasing a robot? Do you guys want to go first?
What we noticed, we saw that, I mean, with this robot being used in more than 50 countries, we noticed that a lot of our cleaners sometimes start from scratch. So they're saying about just buying the machine, but it's important that for these guys, because we have a lot of customers that are moving from the window cleaning business to the solar cleaning business. And it's important for them to keep in mind that, yes, they are going in robotics, but it's not only about this. You need at some points to consider the water. If you go for if you need some water tank, you need to consider the van. For example, we had a meeting just this morning, and the guy forgot at some points that, okay, if you want to focus on solar cleaning business, at some point you need to consider that in some sites you will need to bring some water. So it's important that the solar panel cleaning business is not only about robots, it's also about all the stuff around it, about the way you're going to manage your water, the way you're going to manage to move your robot from a side to another side, the way you're going to manage the water pressure and so on. And that's an all-in-one solution that is very, very important for anybody starting the robotics cleaning, I would say, to take into account.
And I want to add on one thing too, which is really important, that is training. I mean, it's not that you just buy a robot and you will be like fully 100% efficient off the go. You need to be trained. You need to learn this. You need to learn how to use this product really the best way, and that will it's a learning curve. But once you master this learning curve, then you become really good and really efficient and can use this to the full effect.
Completely agree. And Ricardo?
That's a great question. I think, Steve, if you don't mind, I'm going to include you in this one because I really believe that the person who knows the machinery best is those who use it all the time, not those those that create it. So I don't know about you, Steve, but my personal opinion is that it can't break down on you. It's one of those things that it can't break down on you. It has to be reliable. Okay. And that's a really important thing. And you guys heard me say it, and I'm going to say it again. So on rooftop, we really believe that edge detection technology is a safety feature that should not be optional. It should be in every machine. So that's something that we're true believers on. And then the automation. Basically, if you can get one operator driving 2 robots at the same time on a ground mount installation, it's twice your productivity. And so we also think that that's also a nice feature. However, that said, I want to listen to Steve because Steve's the guy on the ground. And as I say, in the ditches. And Steve, what do you think?
I agree with everyone. I agree with you, Carla, definitely, is you can't have your robot breaking down because downtime is bad in any business. You know, if you're a factory owner and your conveyor belt machine breaks, that costs you from the second it breaks down until the second that you get it back up and running. So every minute is a loss and time is money. This is a common phrase that we should be using in all of our businesses. So I think the breakdown and the reliability issues should be ironed out. Whichever robot you go for needs to be reliable. I agree with Stefan that training is essential. You can't just pick this robot up out of the box and make the most of it from day one. So I agree with that as well. Everybody knows, and if they're not already, they're going to get it very clearly impressed on them that I am a health and safety freak. Here in the UK, we have to be. There is no choice. We have to be health and safety experts. And as a company, I think in 2021, we cleaned just over 2 million panels. So the other thing to say about that is that when you're scaling your business to that sort of size, logistics becomes probably your biggest issue. It's very difficult to figure out who's going to be in what van, in what part of the country when you're cleaning 2 million panels. And so as you scale up, you need the technology to scale with you. I kind of feel presently, and I wasn't into solar, but I've kind of felt that we've scaled out of the capabilities of some of the robots. Some of the rooftop installs that we try to clean over here in the UK are tricky. And I'm sure that the robot tech guys will obviously tackle all these issues. I know that we're looking at increasing the angle that robots can work at and less water consumption, but still a high quality of clean. So development is all ongoing all the time. So I just think that they're a great tool. I think they're very, very useful to have. Without doubt, I could not have scaled the business without my Solar Cleano robot. So there's much to be said there. I couldn't have scaled to clean 2 million panels a year without robots. It's very straightforward. So I think it's a combination of all of the things that you guys mentioned, really. And I just feel that we are still in an infancy stage with the technology. There are probably 2 or 3 or maybe 4 players in the robot industry, but I think that it will just continue to improve and improve and improve. I have no doubt about it, and I honestly cannot wait to see what you guys are releasing to us 2 and 3 years down the line. I'm very excited to see where the technology goes.
And if I can come back on what Steve just said at the end, I mean, that's one of the key point for robotics company like us, is that we need to adapt ourselves based on the market. For example, I mean, yes, our both companies started to develop robots, but at some point we noticed like we have some challenges. For example, if we take the example of floating panels, we have quite a lot in the UK and in Holland. I mean, the machine was developed, but then we have to constantly develop new things to adapt ourselves, because cleaning some floating panels is very difficult. We developed some few things. Then now these floating manufacturers are developing new type of panels with 2 meters of panels, and huge panels moving a lot. You need to adapt ourselves all the time. And the difficulty is that it's different for each market. I mean, when we have some big projects in place, like in Saudi, it's like
it's gonna vary. I mean, location's gonna dictate everything, so it's gonna change. And what works for one cleaner in one part of the world is not gonna work for another.
Exactly, and you need to adapt yourself.
You know?
All the time.
Yeah, exactly. 2 5 years ago, and not 2 and 5 years later.
Absolutely. Yeah. So one of the great opportunities, and Steve, you're probably aware of this, is the agrivoltaics. It's starting to come in really big. So basically, I think we're going to see a huge opportunity. Definitely the Europeans are leading the market with agrivoltaics, where basically you've got the crops underneath and you've got the panels up above. And basically a tractor can't be driving down that road. So I think we see an opportunity there. And California is an agricultural state. For those of you who are in California, it's still one of the main drivers of the economy here, besides Google and Apple. Yeah, I think it's going to be big. Do you do any agrivoltaics out there? Steve?
Sorry, Carla, do we clean any?
I'm sorry. Yeah, do you have any clients that have agrivoltaics out there?
No, not currently. Last week we secured a contract to clean a 5 megawatt floating solar array. So that's 27,000 panels.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so 27,000 panels on the French Teal and Serre system, or Serre and Teal. Serre and Teal, yeah. So Seal and Tear system. So yeah, I'm hoping that my £35,000 BMW cost robot doesn't end up in the drink. But I'm sure that
now we have to make them floating, guys. Now we have to make floating ones.
It's waterproof. No
It's
worries.
waterproof. Yeah. Damn.
I need some kind of life jacket for my robot. So Solar Cleaner, if you can work on a life jacket for my robot, that'd be good.
There should be
Yeah.
a way.
Waterproof life jacket.
There is always
Well,
a way.
So, Steve, my question is this: because as a cleaner and someone out in the field, one of the things that you're going to encounter is Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law always enters a job, and there's always a problem. So, what are some of the problems that you've encountered while using a robot out in the field? Because every install is different. It's just not location. It's just not the cleaner. Because you do need to learn about the product and the equipment that you're using, and not one is just going to be the answer for everything. So what are some of the things that you've encountered out in the field that haven't been positive?
I don't know if I'm allowed to answer this. I think that we've got to know our robot incredibly well. I think that we're in a position as a company now where virtually we can strip our robot all the way down and virtually rebuild it all of the way back up. And that's because there have been various issues along the way, and components fail and things like that. So, I mean, Jake, who's in the other room over there, he's become very accomplished at taking the robot apart and rebuilding it. And there are some sites as well. There are some sites as well to do with access. So this is another interesting issue that's not been mentioned yet. Is accessing a roof with a robot is sometimes not an easy task. Kim, who I know has got the Solar Cleaner as well, he's faced some access issues. And so there's been times when we've had to spend 2.5 hours taking all the robot apart and stripping all the tracks off the side of the robot to lift it up a 50-foot vertical ladder out of an access hatch. And then we've had to rebuild it all at roof level as well. So when you're spending 5 hours doing that, 2.5 hours to strip it down, 2.5 hours to build it back up, 2.5 hours to take it apart to take it back down the ladder, 2.5 hours to build it all back together. Well, you've got 10 hours of productivity there, and you have to, the first time you do it, you learn the hard way, and you think it's an hour's job, and it isn't. And so you underestimate how difficult some of these things can be. So when you're pricing jobs, I would encourage anyone who's got a robot to really think hard about how you're going to safely get that robot to the roof, because if you get that bit wrong, you can lose some money as well. So reliability, access. I confess, I've driven my robot off the solar panels. It was on a ground mount array, and you think you're not at the end of the array. I don't have the cameras on, or I didn't have the cameras on my robot because they didn't exist back when I did it. So you have things like that where you just got to live and learn, and you just learn the hard way. But the best way to do something right for the long term.
You've heard this before, I'm sure. Plenty of people have heard this.
Yeah.
It happens. I had one of my first solar tech rushes. I was, after months of using it, we were on a carport drilling away all day long, and it pulled away from me and went off the side of the edge. And this was after I had plenty of education, and it's Don Climate, I think is the guy. We spent a week training on this thing, so it's not like we didn't have training. So, things happen, stuff happens. All right, well, let's have a little bit of fun. Let's give away a water-fed pole.
Let's do it.
Okay. And again, Ryan Fuster, if you could please send me an email, solarpanelcleaningfriends@gmail.com, so I can get you your alpha scrubber. I love it. Okay, so this is how we're going to do it. I tell a story. It's of my first cleaning. My first cleaning, which was an awful cleaning. It was terrible. It ended up taking us 5 days. But we were cleaning carport solar panels, and there's a specific amount, which I've thrown out there. I think you even know it.
Yeah.
Okay, I even put it out there as like, this was going to be the question, and someone nailed it right off the bat. So if you can go ahead and put down a comment the number of solar panels that I was cleaning on my first job. Well, looks like somebody knocked it out. Okay, so I'll show you who this
someone answered it on the YouTube channel as soon as you went live.
Did they really?
Seconds after.
Yeah, people were already up on it. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have to do something different. It was 7,800 carports, and it was hellacious. We actually ended up using painter extension poles and 8 brushes, and there was 2 lifts, and we were 2 guys on each lift. One would hold a hose, and the other would scrub, and we'd just switch back and forth for 5 hellacious days. Okay, if you could tell me, I asked somebody this.
It's just hurting just from hearing that. I'm like,
It was hellacious. If you could tell me what the first person that says it did take me 5 days, what my favorite color is, you win.
So he's
blue. No, I'm not allowed to participate.
wearing it.
No, I'm not. I'm not wearing it. It's not blue and it's not gray. All right, first person that names the my favorite color, you win. Because all right, who is this Facebook user right here? Because they win. I'm gonna have to look it up, but it's the person who said black. Unfortunately, on StreamYard, it doesn't show. So give me a second, and I'll let you know who that is.
We say black.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. It's putting the thing.
Lewis is going to tell you the winner right now of the Tucker
Oh,
poll.
there we go. It's Michael Martinez.
Michael Martinez. Michael,
Woo!
my friend out in Arizona. Okay, so excellent. So Michael, send me a message. I think I have your address, but just in case, go ahead and send me all your information again so I can pass that along. And I think actually, no, that's a little bit different. I got this wrong. We have a form that I've put together. This is pretty cool. That you fill out, and the information goes straight to Tucker, and Sean Gavin puts it together, and they're going to send you your poll. So congratulations.
I'm sorry. There's an error. There's an error. It was Brian, the outcome. Even Michael said it was Brian.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you about this. Last night, I'm actually kind of sorry, Michael, but I'm glad you're a good guy.
Really good
I'm
guy.
excited.
You just lost the Tucker poll.
Brian actually wanted to win this last night because I put out the post. I was like, in the comments, I was like, telling him, this is the question I'm going to ask. So he sent it to me, and he was like, this is how many it is, and he had one. And then I sent him a private message, and I was like, listen, Brian, I asked him, if you can tell me my favorite color. Of course, he said blue and then orange, which is my company's color, not my favorite colors. So he should have won last night. Brian, you actually did win. Oh my gosh, imagine that. Okay, that wasn't a setup. That wasn't a scam.
Michael,
That
thank you
actually
for being honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael, because you're such an awesome guy, both of you guys send me your addresses, and I'll make sure that you guys both get swag bags, and of course, Brian gets his poll, which you 100% deserve. All right, guys, we've been doing this for about 37 minutes. You guys good with going a little bit longer?
Sure.
Okay, all right. So, the thing about it is that I think that is really important to talk about is with these robots is that it is important that it is going to be growth for business. There are steps that a person's going to take. I think that you're going to start off with residential. You start off with a manual, and then you might jump to a rotating bristle brush, or you might just go to a robot. And I think the main reason of that is because of the price, because the prices of these are not cheap. So these are important products and equipment that is going to help you big time. And obviously, for the expense of it, it's got to be something well put together and maintained. So maintaining is a really important thing. So I know it's easy to take apart. You can go ahead and take apart and put your high cleaner back together.
I can.
Let's talk about maintenance, because maintenance is important. I know for my pressure washer, Steve, it is something that I check the oil monthly. Maybe that's probably a little overkill, but it is something that's very important when being a pressure washer. You want to make sure that your machine's on point. If you have a rotating bristle brush, you're definitely using a machine or possibly a battery like that clean. So you got some maintenance. What is the maintenance behind the robot? Who wants to go first to answer that?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So basically the brushes is something you got to look at. You got to look at how long the brushes last and the cost of the replacement of the brushes. That's an extremely. So many of solar panel cleaners that are getting into the business, when they start pricing, they have to learn how to price, and it's a huge challenge, right? And they consider the money to get into the business, but you also have to think about the operating expenses, also known as OPEX. All right. And so one of the things that you got to look at, and Steve, you know this better than anyone, right? Is that operating expenditure is important. So how much does it cost to keep the machine going? So you got to look at the batteries, right? In our situation, it would be batteries, brushes. And then if nothing else really breaks down, then you don't have to worry about it. But each machine is unique. So the questions you got to ask is, well, what needs to be replaced and how often and how much is this going to cost me? So that's a good question to consider before getting into the business.
Right. Yeah, I think so.
Correct.
Stefan?
Yeah, I would say regarding maintenance, what we see a lot is that you have to maintain your product correctly. That means it starts with keeping it clean. You know, we've seen robots on the field that are being not clean ever, just being on the field every day, and then they're being stored, and then next day again. But you need to keep your equipment in good condition, meaning you really have to clean it maybe once a week. You know, there's grime going into like connectors, cables, into all types of parts. So that's really important that you keep that under control. Check your connectors, check that everything is in good condition. Correctly, what Carter said is, of course, brushes. Now, we have less issues with the lifetime of brushes. It's more the lifetime of the trackers that need to be replaced, because depending on the type of panels that you are cleaning, those trackers, they use up. The rubber will use up.
The pads. You gotta
And
clean the pads.
the pads,
At some point,
yes.
it's got to weaken up. And
Yes,
lose its
it will
strength.
let go, and then you have to see how long that will last for you. So that's the OpEx here. That you have to do that, and clear batteries too. Although they last a little bit longer. You know, we're talking about still 1,000, 1,500 cycles or more. But it also depends how you store your stuff, how you store the batteries, if it gets too cold in winter or too hot.
How you store the brushes also.
To store the brushes.
That's an important one.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
a really
you don't want the
that
brushes to get wonky or like, you know, and start jumping. So there's many things that you have to consider there. But yeah, in general, I think if you do a good job in maintaining your equipment, it's not going to go overboard with yearly costs or with yearly maintenance costs.
Yeah. But it is something to consider when you're pricing. And if I don't know, Steve, what do you think? Since you've got the business all figured out, but I see a lot of poor pricing out there, and it's important to consider that operational expense in the pricing.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a budget for maintenance. We don't consider the maintenance of the robot at all in the pricing. Our pricing in the UK here is not the cheapest in the market. We just make sure that we have a profitable business. That's the most important thing. If you have a profitable business, then it doesn't really matter what expenses come along to maintain. You just have the money available to do it. So maybe that's a failing on my part. Maybe I should micromanage.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Actually, I agree.
Tells me
I
you've
like
got the
it.
market corner.
Apologize,
Something
but,
tells me you've got the market cornered, Steve. It looks like you're a privileged
Yeah,
person
yeah,
over there.
Yeah, you do it too much.
I mean, maintenance. Like,
Well,
You know what? He's very fashionable. He's got a great fashion sense, and I think this might have been the biggest
Something
one.
tells me the customer just takes whatever Steve says. I mean, Steve says $5 a panel, and this customer's like, okay.
so I got those.
Well,
That's why he doesn't have to work for business.
Lewis has that cornered because in Hawaii he's got $44 a panel.
$44 a panel.
Yes.
Oh,
Right.
I'm just
Yes.
joking, Steve, by the way. But
That's fine. That's fine.
that was-
I think that over here in the UK, this is one of the things that I think, Chris, we were going to chat about. I'll mention it very briefly. Here in the UK, we have a price war ongoing where there's a race to the bottom. So there's new entrants all the time into the market, and everybody feels the urge they think that the way to get volume is to be cheap. And in some cases, that's true. That's a business model that some people follow. Some people run a business for the first 2 or 3 years deliberately at a loss in order to gain volume. Then they have to whack their prices right up. I've never, ever become engaged in the price war. My price is my price. I say to people, if you want a Ford Fiesta roller skate car, then you go to spend $6,000. But if you want a Jaguar or a Rolls Royce, you have to expect to pay more. And we've made it our business within the company to become total experts. We are true pioneers of this industry. And I don't say that to make myself sound big-headed. I say that because I think that if everyone imitates the same attitude of becoming the absolute expert in their field, in their area, people will automatically pay you a premium. But you can't just talk this to customers. You have to prove them. And I think that's the difference between advertising and marketing. Advertising is telling people that you're good, whereas marketing is showing and proving to people that you're good. So we heavily engaged in media. We have a good social media campaign. And I think that we market ourselves very well. As a result of that, we can confidently say to any of our customers, go to YouTube, watch our videos, go to our website, see the client base that we've got. We deal with Amazon, we deal with IKEA, we deal with a lot of these big international companies. And I think that when you have those logos on your website and when you can talk freely about technical subjects, you can demand a higher price. People will kind of, as Carla said, accept what you have to say. But that takes years. I've not come from window cleaning by accident and fallen to the top of a solar panel cleaning mountain. No one falls to the top of a mountain. You have to really work hard to get there. So I feel that we are at the pinnacle of our game. I think that we are experts, but for me personally, I've sacrificed a lot for this industry, and I've sacrificed a lot for my business, and it doesn't come easily. You have to work and work and work, and then when you're tired, you have to work some more. And that's the only way that you can kind of get to be the Rolls Royce of your industry, in my opinion.
I agree. I definitely agree. This was a popular one, very popular. I'm pretty sure there was probably more views than usual or comments. Does this mean that you're going to pick out my outfit for next week? Because I don't think I've got anything more, Steve. I'm going to be honest with you. My catalog is just jeans, shirts, and boots. That's literally.
I would encourage you to be your authentic, true self, Chris. I didn't used to look like this. Yeah, I would, genuinely. You have to be what you're comfortable being. And so I haven't always looked this way. I haven't made myself look pretty tonight because it's 11:30. But I style my hair a certain way. I style my mustache a certain way. I dress a certain way. Because when I first came into the solar industry as a window cleaner, I looked around all these rooms that I was going in. Everyone was grey suits, white shirt, black shoes. And I thought, these guys are all clones, So especially as coming from looked down on as a window cleaner in a multi, hundreds of millions of pounds industry here in the UK, I recognized that I had to stand out in order to be remembered. And so I deliberately changed my image. I changed the way that I dress. I changed the way that I look, and it became the brand. And so when you look at the likes of Virgin, if I say Virgin straight away, no one thinks Chris. Sorry, Chris. They think Richard Branson. They think, Virgin logo. So. Everybody sees the Virgin logo. Everybody knows Virgin Holidays, and everybody thinks Richard Branson. Apple, straight away, you see the Apple logo in your mind. You know the Apple iPhone, and everybody used to think Steve Jobs. When he was the CEO there. So you've got the company brands, you've got the product brand, and you've got the personal brand. And so for me, Clean Solar Solutions is the company brand. People know we're solar panel cleaning experts. That's the product brand. And then I am the face of the company. I'm the personal brand. And so I've tried to imitate some of those models of those guys by trying to be remembered. But you've got to back that up, not just with a flash shirt. You've got to back that up with content and substance as well.
That's true. And what I have for me, I don't have anything too amazing. Looks like we got a little bit of a leg that just hit on, but I have a black hat. This is what people know me as. If you see this black hat on me, see, it doesn't look the same. See, if I take this off, it's a little bit different. That's why somebody actually commented, Steve styled this man, but I don't think I need too much help because look at this. This is the brand. Like, this takes it home. It's all good. Steve, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I'm so glad that I got to talk to you. You're a really, really nice guy and killing it in this industry. And thank you so much for everything that you've done for our industry because it's important. I don't think a lot of individuals see solar panel cleaners beyond just an add-on to window cleaning or an add-on to a different service. So we're not viewed as the way that we should. And I believe individuals like you are leading the rest of us into where we should be and being recognized. So thank you. I appreciate that.
No, thank you very much for having me on, Chris. It's been my privilege. And just to reiterate your points, I'm firmly of the opinion, having come from the window cleaning industry, that this is not related to the window cleaning industry. Solar panel cleaning is a totally standalone industry. A lot of the people cross over from window cleaning, as I did, but it should not be recognized as the same. The health and safety implications of cleaning a window is very different to cleaning solar panels. So that's a subject maybe for another day we can go into more detail in, but I think that it should be recognized as something different. And once again, I just thank you for allowing me to come on and be a voice. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Lewis. We're gonna say goodbye to Steve. You want to say goodbye?
Yeah.
You left the podcast.
I'm sorry, Steve. I'm sorry. I been business called, so you guys know.
He
That's
actually
okay.
dropped some amazing knowledge and information with all of us that has changed my life.
I will make sure I will go and rewind the video and watch it when
No worries, guys.
Steve, thank
Really
you so
enjoyed
much,
it.
guys. Want to say
Thank you
goodbye to
very
Steve?
much.
Steve,
Take
it was
care.
lovely, in person, well,
Yeah.
in person.
See you in Europe soon.
Yeah.
See you soon,
Likewise,
Steve. Thanks again for your
likewise.
time.
Take care, guys.
I like Steve.
back to my
He's
life.
awesome.
Cool guy.
Steve was awesome.
I know.
Steve was awesome.
I have
I
no
told you he
clue.
was awesome. I
I'm
told
not even
you.
sure why anybody thought that I would have a problem with him. I really like him.
Full
I
of
tell
knowledge.
And no, we talk in the messages and whatnot. I think Steve is a great guy, and I'm really excited for individuals like him or Kim that got rhymed, by the way, that are really, truly, honestly leading this industry.
I think we should get Kim on the podcast.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think.
I
it's
think I want
fine.
Kim.
It's
I
fine.
want to meet him.
He's
I want to
good.
hang out with him, and I want to see him on the podcast.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna see you guys soon. No?
you have an invite for the next podcast, so go ahead and send me a message and hop on with us. Guys, I think that's about it. We're coming to the end of, I believe this is the 12th episode. I'm not really sure, to be truthful with you. It might be the 12th or 13th. It is definitely the second podcast, the second episode of the year of 2022. That's kind of cool. Next week, we are doing, I actually don't know, to be truthful. I had so much prepared, but I left it all at home because we were supposed to, A, have a meeting before this. B, I was supposed to be all set up and good maybe an hour to 2 hours before we went live. So I just blanked on all of it. But what I do have is, hold on a second, before we shut this bad boy down here. I brought a box of stuff because I thought, what else would you do but bring a box of stuff? So
I get a sticker. I
You-
finally get my stickers.
you get quite a few stickers,
I
okay?
do, please.
So you
I
get
want
that.
more, man. I want
Here's-
more. Look how cute they are.
Here's look cute.
Oh, I love this one.
Are you guys gonna be seeing Steve over there?
Steve on the
Yeah.
phone.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Aren't these cute? I mean, look at
I
them.
love them.
They were supposed to be a lot bigger,
Wow.
but my designing and purchasing skills are not on point. But there you go.
Should we do this as a fashion shoot? What do you think?
Totally.
Carla's look. Steve just told me I have to develop my own look, man. What do you think?
It's what exactly. You got to develop your brand so that
I gotta
people can
develop my own look.
recognize you.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, more stickers?
Yeah.
Can we do a
see?
little girl skull?
I gotta
Yeah.
see your pictures.
I think we should do a little
Yeah.
girl skull. Like
Yeah.
just do little eyelashes. Oh wait, no, skulls don't have eyelashes. Maybe a little pink girl skull. What do you think?
Something like that, yeah.
You know?
I think it'd be
For all
kind of
the
cool.
females,
Because there are now.
ladies.
There are
Yeah,
some.
there are.
Oh,
There
I
are.
just
So-
met an amazing contractor down the street. This beautiful woman, a mature woman. She just cleaned her panels just this morning. I was walking down Sunset Cliffs doing my little exercise. Gotta do the exercise. Gotta do exercise. And she must have been plus 50, let's just say. She was awesome. She was just there, little contractor.
Yeah.
She had her license and everything.
Hey, here we go.
Pretty impressive. Pretty
Open to
impressive.
anybody.
Yeah, there's-
Yeah.
The industry's
She gave
gone,
me a
it's
great
fun.
piece of information, though, by the way. She gave me a great
What's
piece of
that?
information. So, we United States, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we think United States, but each state is actually pretty unique. I mean, as Californians, we're kind of weird.
Yeah, I know.
We're the weird ones. We're the
Yeah,
weird
yeah,
ones.
so
We are
in your
definitely
own
the weird
ecosystem,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
we're definitely the weird ones. Stefan knows because he's lived here
Yeah.
so long. He's been here. But
Confirm.
so, you have to have a specialty cleaning contractor license, not a solar contractor license in California to clean. But yet in Colorado, you don't need any license. I sent them an email.
Mhm.
So in Colorado, you don't need a license. In California, you do, but it's a specialty cleaning contract license.
Oh, we should share that link. So
And she told me something else. She told me something else.
This is
that
how
was
we'll
pretty-
hook it up.
Yeah, and she told me something else too, the contract lady. She told me that the roofing, you get the roofing insurance is extremely important. If you're on rooftop, the pricing has nothing to do with ground mount, nothing to do at all.
Yes.
And workman's comp, 33% on rooftop.
Yeah, it's
So I don't know about you. I'm the financial nerd of the group. You know that, right?
Right.
Guys, we're just gonna put this out here.
Great.
yeah.
When it comes to financials, Carla's just like
Carla's like
the financial person.
I'm not-
It's getting worse, by the way. It's getting worse. Oh yeah, it's getting worse. I just keep going down that rabbit hole. Luis knows.
It's a lot of fun. For that kind of stuff.
Luis
You're
knows.
intelligent. That's what
I don't know if I'm intelligent.
I like numbers. And I like knowing everything about my business and everything. And having a maintenance budget is always. I don't know, Steve. I don't know why you don't have a maintenance budget, but it's really important in any business to always have a maintenance budget. Your first year, don't have that maintenance budget, but your second year, you can already go back and backtrack exactly about how much you spent, and maybe for emergencies, you can always predict and forecast ahead about how much you're going to spend. That's how you create a budget.
As a cleaner out in the field, you start to learn to modify, and you start to learn a lot of different things. Because, like I
Yes.
said, Murphy's Law, sticks his head in everything. So you learn so many different things. So by the time you're like 2-3 years into it, there's not really too many problems that can arise that you're like, well, give me some Gorilla Tape, a stick of gum, a pin, and that stick over there, and we're back to work. You know, there's a lot of different things. I think that we're done, guys. If you want some stickers, go ahead and message me, and I'll send you out some stickers.
I love this one.
Isn't it kind of
This
cute?
one is just so cute.
Thank you. The solar panel cleaners one.
This one?
Yeah, this one. I designed this one myself. Okay, it actually took me 3 hours on Photoshop, so I want credit for that because it took a lot of time. But
I still use paint. I haven't evolved from paint.
well,
That's
you
my
know,
thing. I do paint. I'm just like right there.
that sounds like Uncle Philip over at Simple. He doesn't barely use anything, so he's really fun with it. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here at the Solar Panel Cleaners Podcast. We are live every single Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We go live on Facebook, which is facebook.com/groups/Solar Panel Clean Friends. Or you can find us on YouTube, which is just youtube.com/Solar Panel Clean Friends. If you're over on YouTube, go over to the group and join it. If you haven't joined the group, I don't know what you're doing. If you're in the group and you haven't gone over to the YouTube channel, watched the videos, subscribed, liked the videos, and commented, come on, man. What are you doing? There's a lot of information out there. Plus, we're going to be dropping a lot more, I think. This next year is just going to get better and better every single month. We have tons of giveaways. Join us every single first week of the month, every third week of the month, where we'll be giving away. I'm sorry, let me just try that again. The first week of the month, we'll be doing a WCR giveaway, and the third week of the month, we'll be doing a Tucker giveaway. And it might even increase. There might be some extra ones, like around Earth Day. We're going to have a Simple giveaway, and Philip is going to be giving away, I think, 1 or 2 of his electric poles. So,
Man, that's a big thing right there.
right. There's going to be a lot of different stuff here. And next time you won't have to guess like how many panels I've cleaned or something like that. I've actually have a spinning wheel now. Yeah, it's not all put together, but yeah.
You know what we should do on the websites? Like whoever's a solar panel cleaner, you know how McDonald's says like 1 billion served? I guess now it's like 1 trillion. You know, just like how many panels cleaned, right? Like 1 million panels cleaned. Just keep that going. You know, we should just have that
Just a
collectively.
count.
Yeah. Like Steve, I don't know where he's at, but the number's pretty big. I know it's
I
don't think he
was
knows his
about
own
to say,
number.
I think I might be up to 1 million at this point.
I think we
After
should
10
all
years.
put that on our websites. I mean, that would
sure.
be kind of cool. Just for
You
fun.
know, I know I've got about 300, over 300,000 in the first 2 years. That's
I
for
don't
sure.
even
that.
Yeah.
I don't even
No,
know.
not
Like I told Stefan last week, we're gonna try to see every single home that we service, every commercials that we serviced last year and that we're doing it this year. We're gonna try to see if we can get an exact count of how many panels, because there's so many homes that we've done that
you didn't take account.
You know what? I know. There's so many entrepreneurs in the group. Someone's got to develop the app that you just take a picture of the installation and it counts the panels for you.
That's true.
That somebody's got to
If
do
you
that.
say,
I mean, there's so many entrepreneurs.
Shh, maybe they have. Okay.
Oh, that's right. That's
Maybe
right.
somebody
Or
is
maybe
not.
you just put the Google Earth and but not you don't see a lot of panels.
Maybe that.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
How much soil have you removed throughout the
Maybe
year?
you've
How
seen
many pounds?
pictures
How many
this
tons?
morning.
There's so much. There's some variables, and for those that don't know, me and Lewis are actually competitors. Our businesses are competitors.
I don't consider him a
Technically.
competitor.
Maybe more as a
Technically, no, not really.
Friendly.
Yeah, we're in San Diego, but
Right.
honestly,
I don't really have competitors. So.
yeah, we don't. I
No.
don't consider nobody my competitor. I'm more than happy to answer any of cleaner that's in San Diego. Their questions, more than happy to help them out. You know,
Competition is good. It
Yeah,
makes
it's
you
fun.
be more.
It
It makes you do your job better.
it is.
It keeps you on your toes. If you
Exactly.
have to market all to yourself, you start to get lazy.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
true.
So competition is
It's the
fantastic.
quality of
It keeps you busy.
You gotta keep making like you don't worry. If you worry about your competitors, if you go and check out their website, check out their pricing, you're already failing yourself. Don't worry about nobody's pricing. Just worry about yourself. Worry about your own business because at the end of the day, the only competition that you have is yourself.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That is confusion.
Very good.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Solar Panel Cleaning Friends podcast.
Chris,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
welcoming us.
You guys have an invite anytime you want.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week. And that's it. We're out of here.
Awesome.
Bye bye.
Have a good one.